Cristiano Ronaldo didn't just change a game, he changed a life, proving that true greatness lies in lifting up those the world left behind. Cristiano Ronaldo pulled his cap low, the brim casting a shadow over his sharp jawline. He stepped out of the black SUV, the engine's hum fading into the quiet of a small American town. The air was thick, heavy with the scent of sun-baked asphalt and distant barbecue smoke. This was his old neighborhood, a place of cracked sidewalks and faded dreams, where he'd once kicked a worn soccer ball against chain-link fences. No cameras followed him today. No fans chanted his name. Just him, a faded gray hoodie, scuffed sneakers, and a heart tugging him back to where it all began. The street was narrower than he remembered, the houses sagging under time's weight, their paint peeling like old skin. Kids' laughter echoed faintly from a nearby lot, and for a moment he was 10 again, dodging puddles, chasing a ball with a grin that didn't know failure. He walked slowly, eyes tracing every corner, rusted mailboxes, overgrown lawns, a warped stop sign leaning like it might give up. The memories hit hard, late afternoons, sweat-soaked shirts, and the thrill of a perfect goal between two trash cans. Before we dive in, drop a 1 in the comments if you're ready for an emotional ride. Hit that like button to spread the love and subscribe. Trust me, the ending will blow you away. He stopped at a corner store, its neon open sign flickering like a tired heartbeat. The windows were smudged, the awning torn, but it was the same store where he'd once bought cheap candy with coins scraped from couch cushions. A man sat slumped against the wall, his knees pulled tight, his face half hidden by a scruffy beard. His clothes were threadbare, stained with the grit of too many nights outside. Ronaldo's steps slowed. Something about the man's slouch, the way his fingers curled around a crumpled paper cup, felt like a punch to the gut. He couldn't place it, but his chest tightened, a mix of dread and recognition creeping in. He took a step closer, the gravel crunching under his sneakers. The man's eyes flicked up, dull and distant, like windows to a house long abandoned. Then they locked on Ronaldo's, and the world tilted. Those eyes, he knew those eyes. They were the same ones that sparkled when they'd race across empty lots, shouting bets over who'd score first. Marcus, his best friend from childhood, the kid who'd weave stories so vivid they'd all forget the hunger in their bellies. Marcus, who'd pass the ball with a laugh, who'd dream bigger than the sky, even when his shoes were held together with tape. Ronaldo's throat burned. How had it come to this? Marcus, his brother in all but blood, was here, broken, sitting in the dirt like the world had forgotten him. Ronaldo crouched, his knees brushing the rough pavement. Marcus? His voice was soft, almost afraid. The man blinked, slow, like he was waking from a dream. His lips parted, cracked and dry, and he whispered, "You got $1 for some food?" The words sliced through Ronaldo, not because of the question, but because of the emptiness in Marcus's voice. No hope, no fight, just a hollow plea. Ronaldo's eyes stung, but he held it together. "Marcus, it's me, Chris." Marcus squinted, his brow furrowing, like he was trying to pull a memory from the fog. Then his eyes widened, just a fraction, and a spark flickered. Brief, fragile, but there. "Chris? Nah. That you?" His voice cracked, a mix of shame and disbelief. Ronaldo nodded, his hand reaching out, hovering, not sure if he should touch him. "Yeah, man. It's me." The silence between them was heavy, thicker than the summer heat. Marcus looked away, his fingers tightening on the cup. "Look at me, Chris. Ain't much left." Ronaldo's heart twisted. He wanted to say something, anything, to erase the years that had carved Marcus into this shadow of himself. Instead, he sat on the curb, right there in the dust, ignoring the curious glance of a passerby. Lisa, the store clerk, stepped out, her apron stained with coffee, her eyes kind but wary. She'd seen Marcus before, slipped him a sandwich when the manager wasn't looking. "You know him?" she asked, her voice low, like she didn't want to embarrass Marcus further. Ronaldo nodded, his gaze never leaving his friend. "He's family." Lisa's face softened, and she ducked back inside, leaving them alone. Marcus shifted, his shoulders hunching. You don't gotta sit here, Chris. You're you. I'm just. He trailed off, staring at the cracks in the sidewalk. Ronaldo leaned closer, his voice steady but raw. You're Marcus, the guy who taught me how to fake left and go right. The guy who made us laugh till we couldn't breathe. You're still him. Marcus shook his head, a bitter chuckle escaping. That kid's gone. Life chewed him up. Ronaldo's jaw clenched. He wouldn't let those words win. He couldn't. Tell me what happened, Ronaldo said, his tone gentle but firm. Marcus hesitated, his fingers picking at the hem of his torn jacket. Then, slowly, the story spilled out. His mom got sick, cancer eating her away before he was out of high school. His dad left long before that. Marcus tried to hold it together, worked odd jobs, construction, dishwashing, anything. But the bills piled up and the world didn't care. He lost his apartment, then his hope. The streets became his home, cold and unforgiving. You don't know how it feels, Chris, Marcus said, his voice barely above a whisper. To be invisible. Ronaldo's chest ached. He'd faced stadiums of thousands, but this was harder. He stood, extending a hand. Come on, you're not eating off the ground today. Marcus looked at the hand like it was a lifeline he didn't deserve. I can't. I'm a mess. Ronaldo didn't budge. You're my brother, mess or not. Marcus's eyes glistened, and he took the hand, his grip weak but real. They walked to the SUV, Lisa watching from the store's doorway, a faint smile on her lips. Ronaldo opened the passenger door, and Marcus hesitated, glancing at his dirt-streaked clothes. I'll ruin the seat, Ronaldo smirked, a flicker of his old charm. This car's seen worse. Get in. The drive was quiet, the town slipping past in a blur of faded signs and sleepy streets. Ronaldo stole glances at Marcus, who stared out the window, his hands folded tightly in his lap. The hotel wasn't fancy, just a clean, no-frills place a few miles out. Ronaldo had called ahead, booking a room, no questions asked. When they pulled up, Marcus froze, his eyes scanning the building like it was a mirage. You serious, Chris? Ronaldo nodded, stepping out. Let's get you cleaned up, then we talk. Inside, the lobby smelled of fresh coffee and laundry detergent. The clerk, a young guy named Jake, raised an eyebrow but said nothing as Ronaldo handed over his card. Marcus stood back, head low, like he didn't belong. Ronaldo noticed and put a hand on his shoulder. You're with me. Head up. They rode the elevator in silence, Marcus clutching the straps of his worn backpack like it was all he had left. The room was simple, crisp white sheets, a small TV, a bathroom with a shiny sink. Marcus stopped in the doorway, his breath catching. This is too much. Ronaldo shook his head, setting a takeout bag on the table. Burgers, fries, a milkshake, the kind of meal they used to split as kids. Eat first, then we figure out what's next. Marcus sat, his hands trembling as he unwrapped the food. He took a bite, slow, like he was savoring something he hadn't tasted in years. Ronaldo watched, his mind racing. This wasn't just about a meal or a bed. This was about pulling Marcus back from the edge, about reminding him who he was. As Marcus ate, Ronaldo leaned back in the chair, the weight of the moment settling in. He thought of their childhood, of the promises they'd made under streetlights. Marcus would be a writer, Ronaldo a soccer star. One of them made it, the other got lost. But sitting here, watching Marcus take another bite, Ronaldo felt a fire ignite. He wasn't just a celebrity with a bank account. He was a kid from this town, and Marcus was his family. You're not alone anymore, Ronaldo said, his voice quiet but sure. Marcus looked up, his eyes wet, and for the first time, a faint smile broke through. It was small, but it was enough. The room grew quiet, the only sound the hum of the air conditioner. Outside, the town carried on, kids shouting, cars rolling by, life moving forward. But in that moment, it was just them, two friends tethered by a past that refused to let go. Ronaldo knew this was just the start. A meal, a room, a conversation. They were bandages, not a cure. But as he watched Marcus, he saw a flicker of the boy who'd once dreamed big. And that was enough to keep going. Tomorrow, he'd call in favors, doctors, counselors, whatever it took. For now, though, he'd sit here, in this small hotel room and let Marcus feel human again. Because sometimes, the smallest gestures, a hand extended, a meal shared, could start to mend a broken world. The hotel room smelled of clean linens and faint lemon cleaner, a sharp contrast to the gritty streets Marcus had called home for too long. Sunlight slipped through the curtains, casting soft stripes across the carpet where Marcus sat, his back against the bed, staring at a pair of new sneakers Ronaldo had left by the door. They were simple, black with white soles, but to Marcus, they looked like something from another world, too clean, too new, too much. He hadn't worn anything but tattered boots in years, their soles flapping like loose tongues. Ronaldo sat across from him, legs crossed, his phone silent for once. The soccer star's eyes were steady, searching Marcus's face for a sign of the kid he used to know. "You slept okay?" Ronaldo asked, his voice low, like he didn't want to startle him. Marcus nodded, rubbing his neck. "First time in forever I didn't wake up cold." His words hung heavy, a reminder of the life he'd been living. Ronaldo leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "We're gonna fix that, starting today." Marcus looked away, his fingers tracing the edge of the bedspread. "Why you doing this, Chris? You don't owe me nothing." Ronaldo's jaw tightened, a flash of frustration in his eyes. "You're not a debt, man. You're my brother." The word brother hit Marcus like a stray breeze, warm but fleeting. He wanted to believe it, but the years had taught him to trust nothing, not kindness, not promises, not even his own reflection. Ronaldo sensed the doubt and stood, clapping his hands together. "Come on, shower, clean clothes, then we're out of here." Marcus hesitated, his eyes flicking to the bathroom door. A hot shower. It sounded like a luxury he didn't deserve. But Ronaldo's grin, that same lopsided smile from their childhood, nudged him forward. "Go on. I'm not leaving till you're ready." The bathroom was small but spotless, the tiles gleaming under fluorescent light. Marcus stood under the steaming water, letting it wash away layers of grime and shame. He closed his eyes, the warmth soaking into his bones, loosening the ache of countless nights on concrete. For a moment, he could almost remember who he was. Marcus, the kid with big dreams, the one who'd make everyone laugh with a quick story or a clever quip. When he stepped out, towel around his waist, he caught his reflection in the mirror. His face was thinner, his eyes sunken, but the beard was gone, shaved off with a razor Ronaldo had left on the sink. He looked human. Not whole, not yet, but closer than he'd been in years. Ronaldo was waiting outside, holding a bag of clothes, jeans, a soft blue t-shirt, a hoodie. "Try these," he said, tossing the bag. Marcus caught it, his hands still shaky from the meal the night before. He dressed slowly, the fabric feeling foreign against his skin. When he stepped out, Ronaldo gave a low whistle. "Look at you, man. Like you're ready to take on the world again." Marcus managed a small smile, but his eyes stayed guarded. "Don't feel like that, Chris. Feels like I'm borrowing someone else's life." Ronaldo's face softened. "Then borrow it till it's yours." They left the hotel, the SUV gliding through the town's quiet streets. Marcus sat in the passenger seat, his hands folded tightly, watching the world pass by. Kids on bikes, a woman watering her flowers, a dog chasing its tail in a yard. It all felt so normal, so unreachable. Ronaldo glanced over, sensing the weight on his friend. "You remember that summer we built that fort out of old crates?" he asked, his voice light. Marcus's lips twitched. "Yeah, fell apart in a week. You blame me for the bad nails." Ronaldo laughed, the sound filling the car. "Still do. You were terrible with a hammer." For a moment, Marcus's shoulders relaxed, a flicker of the old hymn breaking through. They pulled up to a community center, a low brick building with a mural of kids playing soccer splashed across one wall. The parking lot was alive with activity, kids kicking balls, parents chatting, a coach barking drills. Ronaldo led Marcus inside, where the air smelled of polished wood and fresh paint. "This is my project," Ronaldo said, his voice proud but quiet. "Kids from around here, like we were. They get a chance to play, to dream." Marcus's eyes scanned the gym, where a group of boys practiced passing drills. Their laughter echoed, sharp and bright, pulling at something deep in Marcus's chest. He'd forgotten what hope sounded like. A woman approached, her clipboard tucked under one arm. Sarah, the counselor, had a warm smile and eyes that seemed to see right through people. "You must be Marcus," she said, extending a hand. Marcus shook it, his grip tentative. "Ronaldo's told me about you. I'm here to help, if you're ready." Marcus glanced at Ronaldo, who nodded encouragingly. "She's good people," Ronaldo said. "Talk to her, it helps." Sarah led Marcus to a small office, its walls lined with photos of kids holding trophies. She didn't push, just asked gentle questions about his past, his pain, the moments that led him to the streets. Marcus spoke haltingly, his voice low, like he was afraid the words would break him. But Sarah listened, her pen still, her eyes steady. When he mentioned his mom's death, his voice cracked, and he stopped, staring at the floor. Sarah leaned forward. "You're not alone in this, Marcus. Not anymore." Back in the gym, Ronaldo was talking to Coach Daniels, a gruff man with a graying beard and a whistle around his neck. Daniels had coached Ronaldo as a kid, back when he was just a scrawny boy with big dreams. "You sure about this guy?" Daniels asked, eyeing Marcus as he emerged from Sarah's office. Ronaldo nodded. "He's got more heart than anyone I know. Just needs a chance to find it again." Daniels grunted, unconvinced, but he trusted Ronaldo. "Bring him to the field tomorrow. Let's see what he's got." That night, back at the hotel, Marcus sat on the bed, his mind spinning. The day had been a whirlwind: new clothes, a hot meal, Sarah's questions, the community center. It was too much, too fast. He felt like an imposter, like any moment someone would realize he didn't belong and send him back to the streets. He looked at the sneakers again, still untouched by the door. A knock broke his thoughts. Ronaldo stood there, holding a pizza box. "Thought you might be hungry," he said, setting it on the table. They ate in silence at first, the only sound the crinkle of napkins. Then Ronaldo spoke, his voice softer than usual. "You know I didn't always have it easy, right? After I left here, there were days I thought I'd never make it. Slept on benches sometimes, between tryouts. Felt like the world was against me." Marcus looked up, surprised. "You? But you're... you?" Ronaldo shook his head. "I'm just a guy who got lucky. And I'm not letting you stay down, Marcus, not when I know who you are." The next morning, Ronaldo drove Marcus to the soccer field behind the community center. The grass was patchy, the goalposts slightly crooked, but it buzzed with energy. Kids ran drills, their sneakers kicking up dust, while Coach Daniels barked orders. Marcus stood at the sidelines, hands in his pockets, feeling out of place. Ronaldo nudged him. "Go on. Just watch for now." Marcus nodded, his eyes following the kids. One boy, maybe 12, missed a shot and kicked the ground in frustration. Marcus recognized that look, defeat, heavy and familiar. Without thinking, he walked over. "Hey, kid," he said, his voice rough but kind. "Keep your eyes on the ball, not the goal. It'll come." The boy looked up, skeptical, but nodded. Marcus stepped back, surprised at himself. Ronaldo grinned from a distance, his heart swelling. Over the next few days, Marcus became a quiet presence at the field. He didn't say much, but he watched, listened, and started helping, handing out water, picking up cones, tying a kid's loose shoelace. Coach Daniels noticed, his gruff exterior softening slightly. "You got away with them," he said one afternoon, tossing Marcus a clipboard. "Help me organize the teams tomorrow." Marcus blinked, unsure. "Me? I don't know nothing about coaching." Daniels shrugged. "Don't need to. Just show up." That night, Marcus lay awake, the clipboard on the nightstand. For the first time in years, he felt a flicker of purpose, like a match struck in the dark. The following week, Ronaldo brought Marcus to a group session with Sarah. Other men and women, some recovering from their own struggles, sat in a circle, sharing stories. Marcus stayed quiet at first, his arms crossed, but Sarah's gentle prompts drew him out. He talked about the streets, the cold, the way people's eyes slid past him like he wasn't there. The group listened, nodding, some with tears in their eyes. One woman, Maria, reached out and squeezed his hand. "You're here now," she said. Marcus nodded, his throat tight. He didn't trust his voice, but he felt seen, maybe for the first time in years. On the field, Marcus started opening up. He told the kids stories about the time he and Ronaldo snuck into a rival team's practice to steal their moves, or how they'd play until the streetlights flickered on. The kids hung on his words, their eyes wide, their laughter filling the air. One afternoon, a shy kid named Jamal lingered after practice, his soccer ball tucked under his arm. "You really think I can get better?" he asked, his voice small. Marcus crouched, meeting his eyes. "You got heart, kid. That's more than half the game." Jamal smiled, a spark igniting. Marcus felt it too, a warmth spreading in his chest. Ronaldo watched from the sidelines, his heart full. He'd seen Marcus's spark as a kid, the way he'd rally their friends, spin tales that made the world feel bigger. That spark was coming back, faint but growing. But Ronaldo knew it wasn't enough. A hotel room, a few kind words, they were a start, but Marcus needed more. He needed a reason to get up every day. Ronaldo spent evenings on the phone, calling doctors, counselors, old teammates. He wanted a plan, something solid. One night, he sat with Marcus over coffee, the hotel room lit by a single lamp. "I want you at the program full time," Ronaldo said. "Not just helping, leading. Those kids need you." Marcus shook his head, doubt creeping in. "I'm nobody, Chris. What do I got to give?" Ronaldo leaned forward, his voice fierce. "You got you, man. That's enough." By the end of the week, Marcus was at the field every day. He wasn't coaching, not yet, but he was there, handing out jerseys, cheering, listening. Coach Daniels started trusting him with more, letting him run warm-ups, organize drills. The kids gravitated to him, drawn to his quiet strength, his stories, his way of seeing them. Ronaldo watched it all, a plan forming in his mind. He saw Marcus not just surviving, but building something. Maybe not the life he'd dreamed of as a kid, but something real, something his. And as the sun set over the field, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Ronaldo felt a quiet certainty. This was just the beginning. Marcus was finding his way back, one step, one story, one day at a time. The soccer field was alive, buzzing with the energy of a youth tournament. Kids darted across the grass, their sneakers kicking up clumps of dirt, their shouts blending with the cheers of parents perched on folding chairs. The air smelled of grilled hot dogs and fresh-cut grass, a perfect summer afternoon in the small American town. Marcus stood at the center of it all, a clipboard in hand, his old baseball cap tilted back. His face, once shadowed by despair, now carried a quiet confidence. He wasn't the same man Ronaldo had found slumped against a store wall weeks ago. His shoulders were straighter, his eyes brighter, though they still held a trace of the past, a reminder of the streets that had nearly claimed him. He moved between teams, calling out names, adjusting lineups, his voice steady but warm. The kids listened, their faces lit with trust. Marcus wasn't just a helper anymore. He was their anchor, their guide, their proof that life could turn around. Ronaldo watched from the edge of the field, leaning against a chain-link fence, his hoodie pulled up to keep a low profile. He didn't want the spotlight today. This was Marcus's moment. The tournament was the first big event since Marcus had joined the community soccer program, and the field was packed, families, neighbors, even a local news van parked nearby. Ronaldo's chest swelled with pride, but it wasn't about him. It was about Marcus, who'd gone from invisible to indispensable in a matter of weeks. The kids adored him, calling him Coach Marcus, even though he insisted he wasn't a coach. Parents nodded when he passed, offering smiles of respect. Ronaldo saw it all, and it hit him hard. This was what he'd hoped for when he'd pulled Marcus off the street. Not just a rescue, but a rebirth. Marcus crouched beside a skinny kid named Jamal, who clutched a soccer ball like it was his lifeline. Jamal was shy, his eyes often fixed on the ground, but he'd been coming out of his shell since Marcus started talking to him. "You ready, champ?" Marcus asked, ruffling Jamal's hair. The boy nodded, his lips tight with nerves. "What if I miss?" he whispered. Marcus smiled, his eyes crinkling. "Then you try again. Nobody gets it right every time, not even Chris over there." He nodded toward Ronaldo, who gave a mock-offended wave from the fence. Jamal laughed, a small sound, but it was enough. Marcus stood, clapping his hands. "All right, team, let's show 'em what we got." The kids cheered, their energy infectious, and Marcus felt something stir in his chest, a warmth he hadn't known in years. Coach Daniels, the gruff veteran with the ever-present whistle, stood nearby, arms crossed, watching Marcus with a rare approving nod. Daniels had been skeptical at first, unsure if a man fresh off the streets could handle the chaos of kids and soccer balls. But Marcus had proved him wrong. He didn't just organize drills or hand out water. He listened. He knew when a kid was struggling, when a missed goal was more than just a game. Daniels walked over, clapping Marcus on the shoulder. "You're doing good, kid. Better than I expected." Marcus ducked his head, a shy grin breaking through. "Just trying not to mess it up, coach." Daniels snorted. "Keep that up, and I might let you run this show one day." The tournament rolled on, the sun climbing higher, painting the field in golden light. Marcus moved like he belonged, directing kids to their positions, calming nervous parents, even joking with Lisa, the store clerk who'd shown up to cheer. She'd become a regular at the field, bringing snacks for the kids and swapping stories with Marcus about the town's quirks. "You're a natural out here," she told him during a break, handing him a bottle of water. Marcus shrugged, wiping sweat from his brow. "Never thought I'd be doing this. Feels good." Lisa's smile was warm, her eyes kind. "You're giving these kids something to look up to. That's no small thing." Marcus didn't reply, but her words settled deep, like seeds taking root. Between games, Ronaldo pulled Marcus aside, his face lit with excitement. "Got something for you," he said, his voice low, conspiratorial. Marcus raised an eyebrow. "What now, Chris? You already did too much." Ronaldo grinned, pulling a folded paper from his pocket. "Read this." Marcus unfolded it, his eyes scanning the words. It was a proposal for a scholarship fund, named after him. The Marcus Hayes Future Stars Fund. It would cover equipment, travel, and coaching for kids in the program who couldn't afford it. Marcus's hands shook, the paper crinkling. "You're crazy, man. My name? On this?" Ronaldo nodded, his grin widening. "You're the heart of this place now. Those kids see you, what you've been through, and they believe they can make it too. This makes it official." Marcus stared at the paper, his throat tight. He wanted to argue, to say he didn't deserve it, but Ronaldo's eyes held him steady. "You're not that guy on the street anymore," Ronaldo said. "You're Marcus, my brother, their hero." Tears welled in Marcus's eyes, but he blinked them back, nodding. "I don't know how to thank you, Chris." Ronaldo clapped his shoulder. "Just keep showing up, that's enough." The moment was cut short by a cheer from the field. Jamal had scored, his first goal of the day. Marcus's face lit up, and he jogged over, high-fiving the boy so hard it echoed. Ronaldo watched, his heart full, knowing this was what he'd been chasing, not just a win, but a legacy. As the tournament neared its end, a local reporter, a young woman named Emma, approached with a camera crew. She'd heard whispers about Marcus's story, a man pulled from homelessness by a soccer legend, now changing lives. "Can we talk to you, Marcus?" she asked, her notebook ready. Marcus froze, his old instincts kicking in. He didn't want to be a story, didn't want pity or headlines. He glanced at Ronaldo, who leaned in, his voice low. "Your story's not just yours anymore. It could help someone else out there, someone who thinks they're done." Marcus took a deep breath, his hands fidgeting. "All right, but I'm not doing it for me." Emma smiled, sensing his sincerity, and set up the interview on a bench by the field, the sunset painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. Marcus spoke slowly at first, his voice rough but honest. He told Emma about his childhood with Ronaldo, kicking balls in empty lots, dreaming of stadiums. He didn't shy away from the hard parts, losing his mom, the spiral of bad luck, the nights when the cold felt like it would swallow him whole, but he lingered on the turning point. Ronaldo's hand, extended when he'd given up. He talked about the kids, how their laughter pulled him back, how their trust made him want to be better. "I was nobody," he said, his eyes distant. "But these kids, they make me feel like somebody." Emma's eyes glistened, her pen still. The crew was quiet, the weight of his words settling over them. When he finished, Emma thanked him, her voice soft. "You're gonna inspire a lot of people, Marcus." He shrugged, uncomfortable with the praise, but a small part of him believed her. The interview aired that night, and by morning, the community center's phone was ringing off the hook. Parents wanted to enroll their kids, locals offered donations, and a few old classmates reached out, stunned to see Marcus on TV. "I knew you were special," One message read, from a teacher who'd once caught him and Ronaldo sneaking extra time on the school field. Marcus read the messages, his hands trembling. He wasn't used to this. Attention, respect, hope. But it was real, and it was growing. The kids started calling him Tio Marcus, a nickname that stuck, making him laugh every time. Jamal, the shy kid, was the first to say it, his grin wide as he handed Marcus a drawing, a stick figure of a man with a soccer ball and a cape. "That's you," Jamal said, his voice proud. Marcus held the paper like it was gold, his eyes stinging. The tournament's final game was a nail-biter, the score tied as the whistle blew for the last play. Jamal, fueled by Marcus's encouragement, took the ball, dodged a defender, and shot. The ball sailed past the keeper, hitting the net with a satisfying thud. The crowd erupted, parents leaping from their chairs, kids screaming. Marcus ran onto the field, scooping Jamal up, spinning him as the team swarmed them. Ronaldo watched from the sidelines, his arms crossed, a grin splitting his face. This was it, the moment he'd dreamed of when he'd found Marcus. Not just a second chance, but a purpose, a place where Marcus belonged. As the sun dipped low, painting the field in a warm glow, the program held a small ceremony. Coach Daniel stepped forward, holding a microphone, his gruff voice softening. "We got something special today," he said, gesturing to Marcus. The kids ran up, presenting a soccer ball signed by every player, their names scrawled in messy marker. Tucked inside was Jamal's drawing, now framed, a gift from the team. Marcus took it, his hands shaking, his voice gone. He tried to speak, but all he managed was, "Y'all are my family now." The crowd clapped, some wiping tears, others cheering. Ronaldo joined him, slinging an arm around his shoulders. "Told you, man, you're a star." Later, as the field emptied, Marcus and Ronaldo sat on the bleachers, the sky now a deep purple. The air was cooler, carrying the scent of evening dew. Marcus turned the signed ball in his hands, his fingers tracing the names. "I thought I was done, Chris," he said, his voice low. "Like the world didn't want me no more." Ronaldo leaned back, his eyes on the horizon. "The world's funny like that. Sometimes it takes one person to remind you it's still there." Marcus nodded, a smile tugging at his lips. "You changed everything, man." Ronaldo shook his head. "Nah, you did that. I just gave you the ball." They sat in silence, the stars blinking into view. The field was quiet now, the echoes of the day fading. But Marcus felt different, alive, needed, whole. He wasn't just surviving anymore. He was building something, not just for himself, but for the kids who looked at him like he was their hero. Ronaldo glanced at him, seeing the spark that had been there all along, now burning bright. This wasn't the end, but a beginning. Marcus had found his place, not just on the field, but in the hearts of those who needed him most. And as the night settled in, Ronaldo knew he'd done more than win games or break records. He'd helped a friend find his way home. The story of Cristiano Ronaldo and Marcus is a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the enduring strength of friendship, and the transformative impact of compassion. As I read through their journey, from the dusty streets of a small American town to the vibrant energy of a youth soccer field, I found myself deeply moved by the raw emotion and authenticity woven into every moment. This isn't just a tale of a soccer superstar helping a friend. It's a mirror reflecting truths about life, struggle, and the choices we make to lift others up. Below, I'll share my reflections on the story and the life lessons it offers, grounded in a perspective that resonates with American values of community, second chances, and personal growth. These lessons are not just abstract ideas, but practical insights we can apply to our own lives, whether we're facing our own challenges or seeking to make a difference for others. One of the most striking elements of this story is the power of reconnection. Ronaldo's decision to return to his childhood neighborhood wasn't driven by fame or obligation, but by a quiet pull to his roots. It reminds me of how often we drift from our past, caught up in the hustle of daily life, yet those roots hold pieces of who we are. When Ronaldo saw Marcus, his childhood friend, now homeless and broken, it wasn't just a moment of recognition. It was a collision of past and present. That moment hit me hard because it shows how life can take people in wildly different directions. Ronaldo, a global icon, could have walked away, but he didn't. He chose to see Marcus, not as a stranger on the street, but as the kid who shared his dreams. This teaches us a vital lesson. Never forget where you came from, and never stop seeing the humanity in those around you. In our own lives, we can apply this by reaching out to old friends, checking in on those we've lost touch with, or simply pausing to acknowledge someone society might overlook. A homeless person, a struggling neighbor, a forgotten colleague. A small gesture, like a conversation or a kind word, can be the first step toward reconnection. Another layer of this story that resonates deeply is the theme of second chances. Marcus's life had spiraled into despair. Loss, poverty, and abandonment had stripped him of hope. Yet, Ronaldo's intervention wasn't about pity, it was about belief. He saw potential in Marcus when Marcus couldn't see it in himself. This hits close to home because we all know someone, or maybe we've been that person, who feels like they're too far gone to start over. The lesson here is that no one is beyond redemption. Ronaldo's actions, providing a hotel room, clothes, medical care, and a role in the soccer program, show that second chances aren't just about giving resources, but about giving purpose. In our lives, we can embody this by offering support to those who are struggling, whether it's helping a friend through a tough time, mentoring a young person, or volunteering in our communities. It's about believing in someone's worth even when they've lost sight of it. For me, this means making time to listen to a coworker who's overwhelmed or supporting a local charity that helps people get back on their feet. It's a reminder that our actions, no matter how small, can spark change. The transformation of Marcus is another aspect that left me in awe. From a man who felt invisible, he became a beacon for the kids in the soccer program. His journey wasn't easy. He battled self-doubt, shame, and the weight of his past. Yet, through Ronaldo's support and the trust of the kids, he found a new purpose. This speaks to the American ideal of reinvention, the belief that you can rise from the ashes and build something meaningful. Marcus's story shows that transformation isn't about erasing the past, but using it to connect with others. When he shared his experiences with the kids, he didn't hide his pain. He turned it into a bridge, helping them see that they too could overcome obstacles. This lesson is one we can all apply. Our struggles, no matter how dark, can become our strength. In my own life, I've faced moments of failure, missed opportunities, personal setbacks, but this story inspires me to use those experiences to empathize with others, to share my story in a way that lifts someone else up. Whether it's mentoring a younger sibling or being honest about my challenges with friends, vulnerability can create connection and inspire growth. The role of community in this story also struck a chord. The soccer program wasn't just a field, it was a family. Characters like Coach Daniels, Lisa, and Sarah, the counselor, added layers of support that helped Marcus rebuild his life. Daniels' gruff encouragement, Lisa's quiet kindness, and Sarah's patient listening were as crucial as Ronaldo's grand gestures. This reflects a truth we often overlook. Change doesn't happen in isolation. It takes a village, people who show up, who care, who contribute in their own way. In American culture, we celebrate community, from neighborhood block parties to volunteer groups. This story reminds us to be active parts of our own villages. For me, this means getting involved in local initiatives like coaching a youth team or supporting a food drive. It's about recognizing that we all have a role to play, whether we're the star like Ronaldo or the quiet supporter like Lisa. We can build stronger communities by showing up consistently, offering what we can, time, skills, or just a listening ear. Perhaps the most profound lesson is the impact of a single act of kindness. Ronaldo's decision to stop, to sit with Marcus, to offer a hand, it changed everything. It wasn't about money or fame, it was about seeing someone's worth and acting on it. This resonates with the American spirit of taking action, of believing one person can make a difference. Marcus's transformation began with a meal, a bed, a conversation. It reminds me that we don't need to be superstars to change lives. A small act, buying coffee for a stranger, helping a neighbor with groceries, or checking in on a friend, can ripple outward. In my life, I'm inspired to be more intentional with my kindness, to look for opportunities to help, even in small ways. It's a call to action we can all answer, no matter our circumstances. This story also challenges us to confront our own biases. It's easy to walk past someone like Marcus, to assume their story is too broken to fix. But Ronaldo didn't. He saw his friend, not a stereotype. This is a lesson in humility and empathy. In our fast-paced lives, we often judge quickly, dismissing those who don't fit our idea of success. This story pushes us to pause, to see people as they are, complex, human, worthy. I'm reminded to slow down, to look beyond appearances, whether it's a coworker struggling quietly or a stranger on the street. Empathy starts with seeing, and seeing starts with stopping long enough to care. Ultimately, Marcus's journey is a story of hope. It's not a fairy tale where everything is perfect. It's real, messy, and beautiful. Marcus didn't become a millionaire or a celebrity. He became himself again, a man with purpose, a man who mattered. That's the American dream, not just wealth or fame, but the chance to rise, to contribute, to belong. This story inspires me to keep pushing forward, to believe in my own potential for growth, and to help others find theirs. It's a reminder that life is a series of second chances, and we all have the power to offer them, to ourselves and to others. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button to spread the love and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss an inspiring story like this one. Drop a comment below. Tell us about a time someone's kindness changed your life or how you've helped lift someone up. Let's keep this conversation going and inspire each other to make a difference, one small act at a time. See you in the next video, friends.